We live near a state forest, thick and wild but beautiful. My wife and I always warned our daughter Emily not to go too deep into the woods alone. She's only 8, but you know how kids are. One second you're making lunch, the next, they're gone. She vanished around noon on a Saturday. We called her name, searched the tree line, checked with neighbors. After 30 minutes, I was pacing and dialing 911. The sun was high and I kept thinking, how far could an 8-year-old have gotten? She eventually came back 4 hours later. Walked right out of the trees, calm, smiling, barefoot, dirt on her dress, like she'd been picking flowers. She said she'd gotten lost but found a trail that led her back. No fear, no panic, no tears. But something was off. When we rushed up and hugged her, our dog Murphy, a golden retriever we've had since she was a baby, actually growled, low, deep, tail tucked. He would not go near her. We chalked it up to confusion. Maybe she smelled like a wild animal or something. But that night, when Emily tried to pet him, Murphy snapped at her and actually drew blood. It wasn't like he didn't recognize her. It was something else. We had to put him in the garage until we figured out what to do. That should have been the first real sign, but we wanted everything to be normal. We needed it to be. The next day at breakfast, Emily looked up from her cereal and asked, "What happened to the baby before me?" I stopped mid-chew. I said, "What?" "The other baby, the one before me. She didn't get born, right?" My wife stared at her, pale as snow. We'd never talked to Emily about the miscarriage. That happened 2 years before she was born. There is no way she could have known about it. I asked her where she heard that. She just smiled and said, "I remembered it from before." That night, I watched her sleep. And I noticed she didn't move at all. And I mean at all. Most kids toss, turn, end up upside down. Emily didn't flinch. She lay there, eyes shut, hands folded over her stomach, still as a stone. The next morning, I found drawings under her bed, crumpled pages torn from her sketch pad, dozens of them. Trees, holes in the ground, strange stick figures with long arms and no faces. A girl that looked like her, standing in the woods, surrounded by shadows. One drawing showed her holding hands with something. Same size, same shape, but pitch black. A smile drawn too wide across its face. I asked her about it. She said, "It followed me home when I got lost. Then it asked if I wanted to come back." I asked, "Back from where?" She said, "It didn't say. It just said I had to let it wear me." I froze. Then she said, "I said yes because I wanted to see mommy again." At that point, we brought her to a therapist, pediatric psychologist, the kind of guy who usually tells parents to relax and that their kids just have big imaginations. He didn't tell us to relax. After 3 sessions, he asked to speak with me privately. Said Emily would smile through every session, speak clearly, make eye contact, but said things that made his blood run cold. She described conversations she wasn't supposed to understand. Things about my father, my childhood, details no one knew. He said he couldn't explain it clinically, but something about her presence didn't feel like a child's at all. We pulled her out of the sessions. That night, my wife woke up screaming. Said she had had a nightmare. Emily was standing over her, whispering in a voice that wasn't hers. I got out of bed and went to check her room. She was gone. We found her standing at the tree line, barefoot again, eyes wide open, staring into the dark. I picked her up. She didn't resist, but she whispered in my ear, "She wants it back now. The skin. She says I wore it for too long." Thankfully, she's been sleeping again, still and silent. We lock the doors at night. We hide all the knives, and we keep the lights on. But sometimes I swear, coming from her bedroom, I can sometimes hear 2 sets of breathing. And I know I'm not going crazy.